The Labour Party's victory in the UK's 2024 general election has left many people dissatisfied with the current government. Despite being in power, there's a growing number of Britons questioning the legitimacy of their win. In the midst of this frustration, Reform UK's Richard Tice has raised serious concerns about the election system itself and the Labour Party's representation in Parliament. With so many questioning the fairness of the result, it's clear that the public's trust is at an all-time low. Now let's dive into Richard Tice's bold claims and see why this controversy is sparking so much debate. Watch this clip and hear what he had to say.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Well, as we've heard in this chamber, trust in politics is so important for a functioning democracy. But sadly, based on the statistics and the data, trust is collapsing. Because we face the lowest turnout at the last general election, I think the second lowest turnout in the last 100 years, with just 6 in 10 people voting. And what does that tell us? That tells us that far too many people don't think that voting matters. Whereas I hope we can all agree that every vote matters. And that's why I pay tribute to the excellent work of the lobbying group Make Votes Matter for proposing and promoting this. It is so important. How can we have a situation where only 6 in 10 are voting? I think, Madam Deputy Speaker, we have the most unrepresentative Parliament in living memory. We have a situation where the governing party has about 34% of the votes cast, but 63% of the seats in this great House. What sort of system is that? I mean, it's completely unrepresentative. So you lead to a situation where my good party, we had 14% of votes cast, and yet we have not even a mere 1% of the seats in the chamber. And other smaller parties, the Green Party, they have, I think, just under 7% of votes cast, and about 0.5% of votes in the chamber, or just over. This is so damaging to trust in democracy. So we have 823,000 votes cast for reform per every single seat. And the Labour Party, a mere 23,000 votes for every single seat. I still have voters coming up to me saying, how does this work? And then people get confused because, as other honourable members have said, well, we've got this system for the general election, and we've got a different system in the devolved nations. Which one? Why can't we have a simple, single system that we know works, that is used, of course, in so many democracies around the world, a variant of proportional representation? And what it leads to, Madam Deputy Speaker, not only is a misrepresentation on the seats in the House, but because of the quirks of the system, it means that we have no representation on any single select committee, despite having 4 million votes and 14% of the votes cast. Trust in democracy collapses if something is so patently unfair as that. And it is so important. And we know we can do better. I think it's marvellous that honourable members from the government party, the Labour Party, recognise this. Indeed, in their conference recently, a couple of years back, they actually passed, I believe, a motion to that effect. Fairness is absolutely vital, Madam Deputy Speaker, because if not, what then happens is that in terms of this misrepresentation, you have also a complete misrepresentation of the views of the people on critical issues like immigration, like net zero, because you end up with a sort of uniparty type approach. And that cannot be good for democracy. If people feel, well, all of our views, you can't be represented, so what's the point of bothering? I'm just going to carry on in my own life. Whereas actually, we all know that more engagement from so many people of all ages, young, medium, and old, is vital for a functioning, true democracy. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.